What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and I am back with yet another video for you guys as we are kicking off the new year with a pretty interesting thread that goes on every single year, and I've been responding to this, I think, since 2022, and we're continuing it yet again. It's the Metal Tag 2025 by Heavy Metallurgy, and yeah, this is yet another year of answering like a nice little Q&A thing, questionnaire, and all this kind of stuff. So, of course, if you guys haven't checked out Heavy Metallurgy, check them out. Link in the description box below. Some really good stuff over there. And, of course, if you are interested in responding to this tag on video, be sure to tag Heavy Metallurgy in the description of your video, so that way they would know to check it out and see what you had to say. So I actually haven't watched the actual video because I didn't want to get influenced when doing this. So here we go. So kicking things off, question number 1, hype. Name a release you're eagerly anticipating in 2025. Well, as of recording this, it was New Year's Day when I recorded this. And of course I did my live stream talking about most anticipated albums for 2025. And I would say in terms of what's been confirmed to come out this year, the biggest one I'm looking forward to is the new Dream Theater next month, because first album with Mike Portnoy in 16 years. While, like I said on that stream, while the albums from 2011 onward, minus The Astonishing, have been really good to great, it did feel like the songwriting was missing a little bit of something. It was missing a little bit without Portnoy, considering it was primarily Portnoy and Petrucci working together back in the golden years of Dream Theater. And when Portnoy was gone, the responsibility was thrust onto John Petrucci's shoulders to be the main songwriter, along with help from John Mayung and Jordan Rudess. But now with Portnoy back into the band, I feel like he's going to give a big boost in the songwriting department. And I can't wait to hear what the boys came up with this time around. Excuse me. So, I would say the new Dream Theater is my most anticipated one, at least of the beginning of the year. Question number 2. Show the 25th item, LP, CD, your choice, in your collection. Well, I went into my CD collection, and it turns out my 25th item at the top is Acid Bath Pagan Terrorism Tactics. Of course, you had the last studio full-length from this New Orleans sludge metal legendary band that's now back together, and there's a slim possibility I might be seeing this band live. Maybe. But that remains to be seen. But yeah, it's just some grimy, nasty New Orleans sludge, doom, just awesome. Sammy Duet and Benjamin, the frontman, I always forget his last name, but yeah. Awesome. Well, actually, no, Ben was from Soylent Green. Never mind. Sammy Duet is the primary member from here that I remember and love. So, Acid Bath, Pagan Terrorism Tactics. Question number 3. Overdue. Name an older band that you checked out for the first time in 2024 and loved. Well, this was my first time checking them out in full. Excuse me, damn it. In terms of like more stuff, like I listened to a couple of albums in the past, but never gave them a full-on shot until 2024, and that would be Meshuggah. Like, of course, excuse me, I was always hesitant to check out Meshuggah because I'm not into what people call gent, which I will say again, gent is not a genre. It's just 8-string guitars. That's it. So, because of how snobby those fans get, I was kind of hesitant to check out more of Meshuggah. Like, I had listened to Violent Sleep of Reason and Immutable in the past, but I was like, Violent Sleep of Reason was really good, but Immutable I didn't really like that much. So I didn't give them a full-on chance until 2024, and now I'm really beginning to like them a lot more than I thought I would. So I don't know if it counts, because, I mean, I checked them out in the past, but they were really the one that stuck out to me in my head as like, oh yeah, I never listened to this stuff all entirely back in the day, so I guess I might as well say Meshuggah. Question number 4. Feeding the Monkey. How do you purchase most of your music? Local store, Bandcamp, specific online site, etc. Principally 2 things. Online stores, and whenever I'm on vacation, I go to the record stores. As far as like online shops and sites I get my stuff from, every once in a while I'll get a thing or two from Bandcamp, but most of my online shopping is done on eBay, Amazon, Discogs. I've bought some stuff in the past from Miami Metal Merchant, some stuff off of Night Shift Merch, some stuff off of Hell's Headbangers distro, or just like any distro that has good prices on stuff that I've been looking for. But yeah, record stores has really become like the bread and butter of finding music for myself, because typically I go at least get 10 albums at a record store. In fact, as of recording this video, I just went to a shop in Cincinnati back on Sunday, and that stuff will be featured in the next collection update. Actually, one of them is going to be featured on a collection update I'll talk about briefly, and that'll be that. Question number 5. Enigma. Show a heavy metal album that musically is really hard to place in a heavy metal subgenre. Well, this has been a debate in my mind, and I think for a lot of people, for a long time, and that is Celtic Frost in general, but I went with Morbid Tales as my pick, mainly because a lot of people really debate about what Celtic Frost truly were. A lot of people call them first wave black metal, which I personally disagree with. Some people call them thrash metal, which is appropriate. Some people have even called them a speed metal band, which I think is a bit more appropriate than thrash. And then, of course, death metal, I think, fits them a little bit better than black metal. Even Death Doom, which, if you ask most Death Doom bands, they say Celtic Frost was their biggest influence. So yeah, it's really hard to strictly categorize old Celtic Frost, but for my money, I would say like speed metal, Death Doom, very much in that vein. Like, I don't hear any black metal. Okay, maybe in the production being a little bit more on the raw side, but with a great mix, maybe that was influential to black metal. But other than that, like musically, I don't hear any trace of black metal in Celtic Frost's early stuff. So that's just my opinion, of course. But yeah, it is hard to really categorize Celtic Frost fully. But yeah, Celtic Frost, Morbid Tales. Question number 6. Eating Crow. Talk about an album you used to hate, but years after it finally clicked and now you can't get enough of it. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say I hated this album. It was more of, again, the hesitation about it. But now I would confidently say Meshuggah, Destroy, Erase, Improve. I mean, I'll actually talk more about this later when there's a question that comes up here after a bit, but yeah, I now really, really like this album. It's chaotic, it's hooky though, it's catchy, it's groovy, it's heavy, it's nasty, complex, thrashy at times. So yeah, can't even speak. Meshuggah, Destroy, Erase, Improve. Excuse me. Question number 7. Impulse. Show an album that you blind bought in 2024. That would be Vehemence with Parley Song Verse. So I got this thinking I was going to get the melodic death metal band Vehemence. I actually bought this while I was up in Toledo visiting Thralls of Metal. And yeah, this wasn't the right Vehemence. This is if I remember right, a French medieval black metal band. I've not listened to this whole thing entirely, but from what I have listened to, it sounds interesting. It actually sounds like a really cool blend of medieval folk and black metal. And it's rather epic, I must say. So yeah, this was a definition of a blind buy. I didn't think I would like this. I mean, I haven't listened to the whole thing, but from what I've heard, it is pretty cool. So yeah, Vehemence, Parlez Sans Vis. Question number 8. Collector Scum. Show a title that you own more than one pressing of on the same format. CD, LP, etc. Well, I'm going to talk about it more in depth, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I'm not going to speak much about them, but Mastodon, Crack the Sky. That's all you need to know. Question number 9. Show a grail, something you really wanted that you acquired in 2024. Well, couldn't think of a better choice than Bolt Thrower and Battle There Is No Law. I had been searching for this album for a long time, especially after I did the Bolt Thrower ranking, I think in 2023, like in the fall of 2023. This was the only one I was missing, and I knew it was going to be a challenge. Even though I paid a hefty amount of money, like 30 plus bucks, it's totally worth it to have the entire Bolt Thrower catalog, studio album-wise, on CD. And this is still a really good debut. It's just very different from the rest of the Bolt Thrower discography. So yeah, I was really happy to have gotten one of the must-grabs that I've been scouring for a long time. So, Bolt Thrower and Battle There Is No Law. Question number 10. A plea to the VCLT gods. What is a grail item you are on the hunt for? I'm going to cheat. I'm going to say there's 5. There are 5 albums / EPs I have been trying to find at a reasonable price and good quality forever. First, Enslaved's first album. I'm not going to try and pronounce it because I fuck it up every time. But the first Enslaved album, I know that one's going to be a challenge unless it somehow gets reissued or re-released. But yeah, because eventually I do want to get all of the Enslaved albums in my collection, and that would be a must-grab for me because I remember when doing the ranking, that was a hell of an album to listen to. Next up, General Surgery's Necrology EP, one of the best death metal / grindcore EPs of all time. And I've been trying to look for that at a reasonable price in good condition. It's been a pain in the ass. One of the biggest ones, Impaled's Mondo Medical. I've been looking for that album for so long because it's carcass worship, but more like in between Symphonies of Sickness and Hard Work, like that 3-way mix of Symphonies of Sickness, Necroticism, and Hard Work. And I've been looking for that album at a good price forever. That's almost impossible. Next up, Disembowelment's Transcendence into the Peripheral. Because I love getting one album wonders. That's one of the big ones, especially in Death Doom, that I've been looking for. And I'm shocked Relapse Records hasn't done a reissue of it. Maybe they will eventually, especially with how Inverloch is going. Why not? But the biggest one I've been hunting for years, Dan Swano, Moon Tower. I love that album to death. And when I did my interview with Dan Swano about almost 2.5 years ago, he mentioned that it will get re-released, but it's just taking time because obviously he's doing it like his re-releases with Century Media in chapters, mostly with Edge of Sanity and Nightingale. I know eventually Moon Tower is going to get reissued, re-released. We're just waiting for when. I hope it's this year because I will pre-order that immediately because that's one of my Desert Island albums right there. But, yeah, pretty much I got 5, but the biggest one, Dan Swano, Moon Tower. Alright, we're halfway through. Next up, question number 11. Boomerang album. Show an album that no matter how many times you purge it from your collection, another copy returns to you. Nothing. Next. Question number 12. Reunion. Name an artist that you had lost track of over time but reconnected with in 2024. Well, I wouldn't say I lost track necessarily, but never gave the whole catalog a shot. until 2024 when I did the ranking, and that was Exodus. Like, I hadn't listened to a lot of Exodus since Persona non grata, but after doing the ranking, I was like, I am a bigger Exodus fan now, and hopefully they release something in 2025. Question number 13, Upstart. Name a new band whose debut album really impressed you. The debut didn't have to come out in 2024, but recently. I immediately had my answer. Schizophrenia's Recollections of the Insane. Belgian/Italian death thrash band, and this came out on Redefining Darkness. I don't know if they've been signed to a new label yet. Hopefully these guys put out something new this year, because this debut is just bonkers when it comes to death thrash. Like, it mixes elements of bands like Slayer, Evil, Demolition Hammer, Sepultura, Possessed, early Morbid Angel, and even like the guitar work, like the solos of bands like Death and Obscura. So yeah, this is just some awesome yet brutal death thrash. This is just killer shit from the top to bottom. Hopefully they release something new in 2025, because I want to hear where they're going next. Question number 14, Influencer. Show a band/release that you bought in 2024 as a direct result of watching someone's YouTube channel. I've said this band a lot so far, and it's true. That would be Meshuggah, and particularly the Nun EP. Because when it came down to like checking out some old Meshuggah, this EP really caught my eye, especially the song Ritual, because it just sounds like if Metallica and Pantera redid Alice in Chains Wood, but made it heavier and more proggy with time shifts. But all the other songs, Cumulative, Sickening, Gods of Rapture, even Aztec Two-Step, really killer. So, yeah, basically Thralls, when they did the Meshuggah ranking, I was like, okay, I've got to give Meshuggah a fair shake, and now I'm a fan of Meshuggah. So, and I do plan on getting more of their catalog in the future, but yeah, the Nun EP, I'm happy to have an OG copy right here. Excuse me. Question number 15. Don't judge a book by its cover. Show a great album with bad cover art. This one was kind of difficult, but I decided to go with Morbid Angel Covenant. I'm not the biggest fan of this cover. It's just too simplistic and kind of stupid. But the album itself, perfect 90s death metal album. Nothing more, nothing less to be said. Question number 16. Rembrandt. Show an album whose cover art was created by one of your favorite artists. Well, when it comes to great cover art, none better than the one and only Dan Seagrave. However, I wanted to show one that doesn't get quite as much love. Entombed's Clandestine. I know we all point to Left Hand Path as the best work of Dan Seagrave's career, and I would still agree, but I would say Clandestine is almost as great as Left Hand Path in terms of the album cover. I mean, it just looks a little more darker, a little more sinister, and more evil looking. And even Dan Seagrave said himself in an interview that he honestly prefers this cover over Left Hand Path, which is interesting. I still prefer the Left Hand Path cover a little bit more, but this is awesome in its own right. So I wanted to show off one I think doesn't get quite as much love, and so that's why I went with Clandestine by Entombed. Question number 17. Name an album you would like to see reissued on vinyl or CD, your preferred medium. Mentioned it already. Dan Swano, Moon Tower. Enough said. Question number 18. Name an album from a genre you typically do not listen to very much. That would be Red Hot Chili Peppers' Californication. Because I'm not the world's biggest alternative rock fan, but this album, it's bordering on alternative rock, hard rock, even a little bit of funk metal, but minus the distorted guitars. But man, this album, you can't deny it. 1998, I believe, when this came out. 1999. it's one of the biggest albums of the 90s, and it's still great. Around the World, Scar Tissue, the title track, Other Side. It's a masterpiece of alternative hard rock. And yeah, again, while I'm not the world's biggest fan of alternative rock, this is definitely something to behold. Question number 19. What band do you hope to see live in 2025? There's a countless list. I thought about going with Opeth. However, there is one band, and there is a slim possibility I might be seeing them in May, Metallica, because they're going to be playing the Sonic Temple Festival up here in Columbus, well, 2 hours north of me in Columbus. And I'm thinking about, or not thinking about, but me and actually my mom are hoping to get tickets for it for the Friday night show, because that's where the majority of the awesome bands are playing. So I could possibly also see Black Dahlia Murder. I could see Frozen Soul, Gatecreeper, Cannibal Corpse, Hatebreed, 200 Stab Wounds, Exodus, Overkill, Testament, Alice Cooper, Rob Zombie, and end with Metallica. There is a chance, it just depends on certain situations with my mom's work, to see if we can make it happen. So I'm going to go with Metallica. And then finally, question number 20. In closing, tell your viewers about 2 new to you YouTube channels you discovered in 2024, or just shout out 2 channels you enjoy. Well, one of them is a new channel, Just Another Heavy Metal Maniac. He's new to the YouTube metal YouTube scene. And he's done some pretty cool stuff. I've had him on Master of Metallum, or the Metal Archivist, last season, which, by the way, the next season might get pushed back a little bit by another week or so. I might bring it back next week. But again, it's all really going to depend on who I can get. If I can't get anybody, then the season's going to be done for a while. But yeah, Just Another Heavy Metal Maniac, a new kid on the block, and doing some good stuff. You guys should definitely check him out, as well as the other channel, and I'm wearing their shirt, FCK.FM. Granted, they don't do a whole lot with YouTube, but they deserve love in general. Like, they do put out some YouTube stuff. It's pretty cool. Basically, it's a group of some of the hottest, yet sweetest ladies in hard rock and metal. I mean, they pride themselves on being sexy and hard rockin' and metal. And I've become pretty good friends with quite a few of the girls over there, and not only did I get this shirt, they sent me this awesome sticker, and actually, as a gift for buying one of their shirts, they sent me this really cool poster of a show from 2020, back in February, of Testament, Exodus, and Death Angels, signed by Alex Skolnick. So eventually I'm going to try and see if I can get this framed and hung up on the wall somewhere, because it's pretty freaking cool. So FCK.FM, they all fucking rule. Again, it's not to objectify, but they pride themselves on being sexy and beautiful ladies that also love metal. And so hopefully, actually, I might get a couple of the girls on Horseman podcast for like interviews and hangouts and stuff, and really get to know more about them, because it's just fascinating to me that they pride themselves on being badass, hot, and metal. And they're really, really great people as well. I talk to their webmaster pretty much every single day on Instagram. So yeah, check out their YouTube channel, but most especially check out their website, their Instagram, their Patreon. I'm a proud patron over there. So there you have it. So yeah, FCK.FM and Just Another Heavy Metal Maniac. Check them out. And that, ladies and gentlemen, does it for this video of the Metal Tag 2025. Like I said at the beginning, if you guys who are watching this want to respond, be sure to tag Heavy Metallurgy in the description to let him know that you're doing a response, because this is always a good video to do every single year at the beginning of the year, and I'll be curious to hear what you guys have to say. But until next time, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. But until next time, keep your horns high and your dreams wet.